All right, before we go ahead and we're going to work some I need thoughts with you all. And no matter who's working it, you'll be able to work yours at the same time. And following up, the worksheet or workbook pages that are coming out to you on the dashboard will give you that I need. And I want you to just be the recipient right now. You'll get all the questions later in the week that I'll be asking, and really how to dive in and do a deep, full-blown observation of your situation and grabbing the wants, needs, shoulds, judgments, all of it. That is like a brain dump. But for now, we're just going to focus on the I need thought. And there's a reason for that. So I just wanted to talk about that. All right. So you all know what babies are like and how present they are. Just fully present and engaged and learning everything and sleeping, eating, hugging, laughing. And then something starts to happen where I just wanted to say too, what happens with the baby, if you've ever been around a baby lately, you will notice when they cry, their mouth just turns down and their whole face, and they're just like, wow. And a lot of it is anger. And they're like, I want this and I want it now. And you need to give me. And they're not worried about, they're not in the other person's business, whether the other person is thinking about them in a certain way or has the ability to do it or they're just, okay, I need this, get it, give it to me now. And then when it's done, they're not holding on to a story. They're just like, okay, moving on. I'm back to playing now. My tummy is full. I'm pooping, I'm sleeping, I'm whatever it is. Until either very young, when maybe somebody's left in the crib too long and nobody does come, the mind starts making decisions. Survival instincts start coming in. So an event takes place. Lots of times it's a very young age. Sometimes it could be the age of this girl here. I find lots of times between 4 to 7 is where a lot of decisions get made, but much earlier than that, a lot of reactions happen where an event takes place where the survival driven mind creates some version of the one story behind all emotional pain. And that thought, that story is, in order to get this need met, which is to be happy, safe, comfortable, fed, free, loved, I need this moment to be different than it is. So I need someone to come and get me. I need, the temperature to be different in the room. I need me to stop doing what I'm doing because clearly they're not coming. And so we start putting the camera on ourselves, and the mind allies itself with what should be present, past, or future, or present and future, or what should have been past. So we create mind-made conditions for what the self, other, or life need to do or be. So it's like, I need to be this, I need to do that to get them to blank, to take care of me. So we start running that script. Oh, okay, when I do this, they smile at me. When I do this, they pick me up. When I do this, I get my needs met. And then it's like the birth of codependence, where that might have been an erroneous decision to start with. Maybe you never needed to do that thing, but the child mind connected that up as, oh, okay, when I do this, blank. So then you're trying to do that, and then you're shuttling back and forth between the other person to say, oh, did I do it well enough? Okay, they like me, they're smiling at me, they're feeding me. Okay, I'll do more of this. And it all gets caught up in there. But when it comes to the who's doing something wrong, the mind sees blame and shame as the way out. It's like, okay, if I blame them and I'm mad at them, then if I just stay mad at them and try to get them to, that's one way out. If I just beat myself up enough, that's another way out. And the mind goes into these polarities. And I say they separate us from SOAL, which is self, others, and life. The ever-present love, actually, that's showing up. So yeah, here's the blame and shame polarity. And no matter how much spiritual work we've done, as long as we're in a blame shame polarity, there's no way out on the shame side of the stories of guilt, regret, fear, self-doubt, loathing, reactivity towards self. That was me mostly. Running under that, there's always a secondary. In my case, shame presented first, or regret, beating myself up, and then blame. So the others that are out, if you're out there blaming, then You're going to have shame underneath. You're probably harder on yourself than anybody, but you walk around in the world being fearful, angry, needy, feeling victimized toward others in life. So I need this to be different than it is. This should be different than it is. And once we understand that, there's 100% reliable way out of that. So, just a minute. It's funny that doesn't have a slide for it, but that's your one thought. This is going to show up in your workbook. So just write this down. That one thought is, I need blank to be different than it is. I need me. I need life. I need you. It's a conditional thought. In order to feel happy, safe, free, fed, loved, I need blank to be different than it is. It can also be worded as, this should be different than it is. They shouldn't. It's some form of that. And we can do it in the past tense, which was my own little regret hell. I should have, they should have, this should have been different. That's the same. I need the past to have been different. It can also be future. All fear is in the future. So what you're doing is playing a mind movie for yourself, seeing yourself out there in the future, needing it to be different. And that scares you. You see yourself out there suffering in the future, which creates here in the now. So that I need thought, that conditional thought, it's if then. If blank, then I'll be happy. If he just hugs me longer, then I'll know I'm loved. If whatever. So it's a conditional. These are mind-made conditions, but when you boil it down, there's really just one. I need this to be different than it is. Right now, past, present, future. So there is 100% reliable way out where we can compassionately neutralize this source of the suffering, where you apply the symmetry principle, which is looking at whatever upsets you. That holds the key. And we're going to do that really soon. Yeah. So life will keep reflecting back this polarized programming and accelerating your reactions. So, if you don't take care of or leave a bad marriage, for example, you may get sick. Like I did. Sort of life will keep coming until you find these ways that we now have to compassionately neutralize the thinking that's creating the problems. Again, until we learn how to use our pain to expose the childlike errors in our own logic. And once we do, they just fall away. And what a revelation when we bring in anything. If you put your focus on anything that feels like not love, you will find that what's here is nothing but love. It was only your thoughts that were separating you from that. So it's kind of like we had the Garden of Eden, and then we took a bite of the apple of our own thoughts and completely separated from the grand unfolding that is out of our control. That is perfectly happening for us, not to us. We can use what hurts now, and that's what this thought detox is about. And that's what we're going to do right now. So that was just the little thing that I went through. It actually shows how when you get to the middle, you've been working your blame and shame thoughts and being mindful of them, but did you really know how to neutralize them? So it's just about love. Love always here, never left, but the mind-made conditions that define anything as not love keep us from experiencing that. And so now we have a way to come back to that. We turn our inner critic into the champion of your happiness by using the wheel of self-love, and turn your biggest challenges into your biggest breakthrough using my no matter what way, which includes the work of Byron Katie, in which I'm certified and have been either serving on the helpline or using the work, teaching the work in my groups and retreats, as well as the Wheel of Self-Love since 2014, and working with symmetry long before that as well. So then we come back to this state I call self-solidarity and living in symmetry, meaning using anything that upsets you as a direct path to peace. Self-solidarity, meaning standing with, by, and for your innocent self, knowing you're always doing the best you can. That's the self-forgiveness place I was never able to find until my late 50s, I guess. And so this is a fearless win-win way of life fueled by self-love and service, where you're using whatever upsets you to evolve yourself back to unconditional connection.